And the Players' Championship sees the #1 from Poland, Krzysztof Ratajski, against the recently
25.
installed #1 for Belgium, Dimitri van den Bergh. Ratajski has already won 4 ranking titles in
25.
PDC darts, including 1 this year. But Dimitri is looking for his very first in senior darts. I'm Dan Dawson. Chris Murphy is alongside me for the Polish Eagle and the Dreammaker, fighting out
Bullseye.
for £10,000 in ranking money. But particularly for Dimitri van den Bergh, it's a lot more than that.
25. So Krzysztof's won the ball.
Will it be the day that Ratajski adds to his growing title tally in the PDC, or will it be Dimitri's destiny to take the title this afternoon? It didn't look like it was going to go his way when he trailed by 4 legs twice in the semi-final
101.
against Ian White, but van den Bergh hit back from 4-0. 5-1 and 6-3 down, including a stunning 160 checkout in that match to book his place in this decider.
59.
Now he's here. Can he put in a better showing than he did in the one he reached earlier this year when he lost 8-3 to Glenn Durrant on his day of destiny when he picked up a first PDC title? And we all know what's happened since then for Glenn.
Ratajski now into double figures for 180s for the day. He's not the biggest 180 hitter in PDC darts. In fact, in the top 10 players in the averages,
78.
he hits them less regularly than anybody else. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't stop his average being high because he hits so many 177s and so many 15-dart legs. He's an absolute machine, and he was far too good for
60.
Danny Noppert in the semi-finals. The first time he'd ever beaten Danny Noppert, and it took him 6 attempts. But if he were to beat Dimitri here, it'd be the first time he's ever beaten
100.
him, because he keeps running into him and he keeps getting done by him.
Well, van den Bergh had this finish in the semi-finals, just mentioned that. Ratajski's going to do it in style here. Drop the dart in between, plonked the second alongside the first, picked it up, and popped it in. What a start for Krzysztof Ratajski.
The Polish Eagle kicks off with a 12-darter, picking up where he left off against Danny Noppert. A 7-1 win in the semis, 12-darter to start this. And you mentioned that final.
140.
Oh, look at that. Bit of swagger, a bit of chewed about Dimitri van den Bergh. But he's got to have something like that, because he did look overawed when he played Glenn Durrant, didn't he? When he played in that final earlier this year, and he just got steamrolled at 8-3.
Yeah, it was one of the few times that I've seen him. He kind of looked to have taken that defeat to heart as well, didn't he?
105.
A man who kind of prides himself on being in control of his emotions. Does all the deep breathing techniques, etc. during matches. He certainly
59.
kept his cool and did himself a lot of credit in that match against Simon Whitlock we had over on Stream 2 earlier today, when there was a delay in play.
Well, the only other time we've seen him in a
100.
senior final in PDC darts was when he played in the German World Series event, of course, in Gelsenkirchen. And Mensur Suljovic kind of did a job on him there. He'd beaten all these big names, Van Gerwen and Anderson, and then Mensur just battered him.
Yeah, after a bit of argy-bargy over the bullseye at the start of it, if I recall correctly. Not something that you would associate Dimitri van den Bergh with. Of course, Ratajski was at the World Match Player this year. Many people thought he would beat Darren Webster in the first round, and many people were right. Beat him 10-5, but then went on to lose to the eventual champion, Rob Cross.
Does he go double-double here? No, he's looking down the board at the 16s. Double 14. Oh, just didn't give it enough. And Krzysztof Ratajski, the ton 40, has put him within striking distance.
It wasn't Dimitri that was trying to delay things there. He was just waiting for the match official to call out the score. Hasn't managed to find a treble. Edged forward to inspect it himself.
72.
Find a treble with the last start. Van den Bergh's only got 2 darts at double here. Chooses double 4.
Game shot.
Finds double 4 to level things up, and has a little word with himself.
Well, I think this has to be it. Dimitri van den Bergh has spent so long being a dominant force on the development tour. He can't do that anymore. He's too
78.
old for it. Two-time World Youth Champion, of course, defending his title. But he has to now do it on the senior tour. And he knows that. He made his first final on the tour this year,
85.
having had that great run in the World Series event last year. But there is no other option for him. And he knows that if he's going to make this work as a career, if he's going to fulfill his potential, then he has to be able
99.
to come into games like this with massive opportunities, and he has to be able to perform somewhere near his best. That's what this talking to is about, surely.
Yeah, well, certainly the next step for Dimitri van den
95.
Bergh is to win a senior title in the PDC. Ratajski's already claimed 4 of those in a fairly short period of time. He's not been on the tour as long as Dimitri has.
Well, he didn't have a tour card last year, so he
59.
wasn't playing every event. But if he wins, if he makes this 5 titles in 18 months, I mean, can you name many other players who've picked up 5 ranking titles in the last 18 months? I can't.
180.
Well, the same names would crop up, but they would be players that you would expect to have those kind of title hauls.
$95.
Ratajski's left himself the 170.
105.
And he may have to take it out just to hold his throw, because Dimitri van den Bergh, having looked very much second best in the opening leg and a half, has now completely turned this game around and could go into the lead.
96.
Double 18. To break.
Game shot.
Van den Bergh does break. Yes, we mentioned that this is the next logical step for the progression of Dimitri van den Bergh. The next step for Ratajski, I suppose, would be to win a stage title in the PDC. What did you make of him at the match play? Because I know he was one of the 14 players that you picked
65.
for the title in Blackpool.
Yes, and indeed I predicted that he may beat Rob Cross in the second round, and just revising my prediction there. That was the puzzling thing, because
136.
Ratajski has won the World Masters. It's not as if playing brilliantly on stages is alien to him, and we've seen him on the Euro Tour look really dangerous. But he just did not perform. He wasn't particularly good against Darren Webster, even though he won the game.
Webster said he was rubbish, didn't he?
Well, he did. And
24.
he was kind of right.
Yeah, the averages were sub 90 for the pair of them. Webster felt that had he been anywhere near his best, he would have beaten him convincingly. Rob Cross did beat him convincingly and went on to win the title.
136.
Well, this is the thing. Krzysztof Ratajski is in the top 10 in the top 10 best performers in terms of the averages. He's higher than that in terms of the number of titles won over the last 18 months. So
85.
why would he not be able to go and do it on the big stages? But then again, we've been saying that about Ian White for quite some time.
Yes,
99.
4 PDC titles. Ratajski has never been beaten in a final in the PDC. A record that he could increase further here. Wins against Daryl Gurney, Chris Dobie, Adrian Lewis and Nathan Aspinall.
97.
Yeah, well, I think it would be silly for people to start questioning whether Krzysztof Ratajski can do it in big tournaments, because we haven't seen him in many, have we? He's got plenty of opportunities coming up, and he'll be
No score.
seeded for the European Tours. Didn't have to play in the qualifiers yesterday, which will be a delight, because he keeps running into Dimitri and keeps losing.
Well, he's just bust 130
140.
here,
He's
Krzysztof
gone for the
Ratajski.
single and hit the treble, hasn't he? That's ridiculous.
Play it again. Now double 5.
120.
Well, Dimitri van den Bergh, he's only had one visit, really good visit in this leg, of a 140. But he might sneak it away
74.
because Ratajski bust 130.
Game shot.
Well, But he somehow finds a way to win the leg. Ratajski had to use the other half of that bed. The second dart just kind of ducked down over the double five. Here's a break of throw, and it does put Ratajski back in control of this final. The only man who has beaten Krzysztof in any kind of PDC final was Ted Everts, and he challenged to a match last year. It's a strange career curve for Ratajski, who
100.
won a Challenge Tour event after he'd already won a Pro Tour event.
Well, he won the World Masters before he'd won any of them. Does things in reverse.
57.
I'm not sure he'll be winning a development tour title anytime soon, anytime ever. Dimitri van den Bergh, of course, a dominant force on the development tour, but not playing there anymore, so he has to
180.
up his game on the floor, and has in 2019.
I think this is fascinating watching Dimitri. What was he like in the semi-final against Ian White? Was he this sort of animated? He usually isn't.
He took out 160
140.
and greeted it as if it had been hit against him. I think he relaxed a little bit in that match through resignation
89.
that the game might have been up, and it managed to bring out the best in him and the worst of White, and he finds himself in this final. But now he's here, it is clear to everyone that he's really, really up for this.
100.
He sees this as his big chance.
57 leaves Bull.
107.
Worries it, but doesn't take it out.
Ratajski's not going to worry it or take it out, so van den Bergh will return,
40.
looking to break straight back. Double 8. Double 4.
17.
Can't find it. It was closer, perhaps a double 13 there. And now Ratajski only needs one treble for a dart at the bullseye.
Well, most players will look at the treble 20 first. Now treble 17 and Bull. Not to be, and Dimitri gets
97.
more opportunities to edge into the lead for a third break of throw on the trot in this final.
Game shot.
And he's got it.
It hasn't been an easy afternoon for Dimitri van den Bergh to get to this final. It started with a 6-5 win against Joe Cullen, knocking out seeded opposition.
180.
Really is up for it, isn't he? Animated stuff from the Belgian, who kicks off with a max.
Well, he's still gesticulating, throwing his hands around. He's absolutely furious.
59.
I'm struggling to understand what's going through his head at the minute.
He took on a man in the second round who we are more used to seeing that kind of thing from in
95.
Roby John Rodriguez. And wins against Justin Pipe, Simon Whitlock, another couple of last leg deciders against Ron Muhlenkamp and Ian White. So it has been
92.
an afternoon in which Dimitri has, well, one, ridden his luck, but two, had the bottle to get over the line in those games.
180.
And a fourth maximum for Dimitri van den Bergh really does stamp his authority on this one. And maybe Ratajski's rattled, and it takes a
27.
heck of a lot to rattle Krzysztof Ratajski, let me tell you.
Well, no drama with the missed big number.
Game shot.
Cleaned up very, very quickly and very, very clinically by Dimitri van den Bergh, who now has a bit of daylight in this decider.
Well, it's almost like Dimitri van den
137.
Bergh. And it takes me back to Jamie Lewis. When Jamie Lewis had that incredible run at the World Championship out of a clear blue sky 2 years
60.
ago, he'd been pretty dreadful on the tour and found his way through to the semi-finals, playing the best darts we've ever seen from him. The only explanation he had for where it had come from was he said, I got fed up of losing. I got so
180.
tired of losing that something just snapped. Now, Dimitri seems... this is another opportunity for him in floor tournaments where in senior darts he hasn't done enough.
78.
And he's playing this game as if he's infuriated that he's not coming into this as a bloke who's won a senior title already himself.
41.
Well, he's demanding a lot from himself. It has to be said that Ratajski is not pulling up any trees in this final. Some way off the standard that we're used to from him, although he has fired in a max in this leg and left himself
96.
handily placed to win it and close the deficit somewhat. Has already had one big 3-dart out in the match. Not going to double his tally of those here, but it's not going to matter.
102.
Nah, just seemed to rush that last dart, didn't give it the full treatment, and it means that he's not on a finish, so Ratajski can take this out under no pressure, and if you don't put pressure on Krzysztof Ratajski, then he will do that to you. Danny Noppert found that out. I mean, beating him every single time he played him, he just did not put enough pressure on Ratajski. You just averaged 104 and steamrolled him 7-1 in the semi.
Well, Vandenberg has already managed to rack up more legs than he did in that first
60.
Pro Tour final earlier this year against Durant. In fact, there has been a steady progression because it was 8-2 against Suljovic in the German Darts Masters, 8-3 against Durant in the Players' Championship earlier this year. He's picked up 4 legs here. He's halfway to victory.
Yeah, well, if this ends 8-4 against Dimitri
50.
Vandenberg, I'm going to stay out of his way. He looks angry enough right now, let alone if he were to lose the next 5 legs in succession.
Has won big finals, of course. A couple of Youth World Championships
99.
in the last couple of years.
Yeah, beating Josh Payne and Martin Schindler. Payne, of course, a man who's won 2 of these titles, and I think that may
58.
be something that might annoy Dimitri, that he's seen other players from the youth system go and win senior titles, whereas he's been the big noise on that tour and hasn't managed to take that step.
I think in that match against Glenn Durant, taking nothing away from Duzza, who has been superb in his first season as a PDC professional, but I think there was a sense for Dimitri Vandenberg that he'd finally
93.
achieved his goal of getting to a final. Now he's looking to achieve his goal of winning one of these tournaments, and it is a different Dimitri Vandenberg in this final than the one that we saw in that one.
Absolutely. And he's left the 160.
He
took it out in the semis. He saw Ratajski take it out in the very first leg. And Vandenberg, if he doesn't take it out here, he's got problems. And he isn't going to take it out.
Well, he also saw Ian White miss a dart to complete that combination to beat him
64.
in the semis as well. It has been a tale of 160s for the young Belgian this afternoon. 68 is the equation that Ratajski was trying to work out. He knew where to go, but he just didn't throw it in the right segment. Was looking
36.
for the 16 there. That's it. But it's handed Vandenberg a chance to restore his advantage, or to retain his advantage, rather.
Loves the double 18. Vandenberg stops. We've seen him do this over and over again. Takes that big, deep breath.
60.
But he does not pin it, and he does not punish Ratajski for missing the big number in the previous visit.
Double 8.
Game shot.
And there you see Ratajski giving it some. Remember one of the finals that he played in against Adrian Lewis, where the pair of them were just getting more and more aggressive, just trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, I think Adrian started it, to be fair, but Ratajski finished it.
85.
4 apiece. Which way now? Ratajski effectively has the advantage, having won the bull contest at the start of this final.
180.
But Vandenberg perhaps already the most likely to win this leg against the darts, and then the advantage would become his.
Well, there are times when you see Dimitri Vandenberg, his
60.
run to the quarterfinal of the World Championship, his superb display in the World Youth Championship final against Schindler. And he's raging. But there
99.
are times when, particularly his ability to hit those massive scores, the 180s and the 177s, you think, would he can do that better than the vast majority of players.
He was angry then to have not put himself on a 9-darter, Dimitri Vandenberg. He could have been reciting the oohs and the ahs in his post-match interview again.
180.
6 180s in 9 legs for Dimitri Vandenberg. This is astonishing
100.
power scoring.
Double 18 to break. Double 9 now.
33.
The problem is for Dimitri Vandenberg that in the last couple of legs, he's gone to his go-to double and hasn't gone out.
That's awkward. And he couldn't find his way through. Big deep breath from Krzysztof Ratajski. He knows he is just hoping
60.
that Dimitri Vandenberg misses again. Double 4. He's already got the weight of dart. Needs to adjust the line.
Game
And
shot.
that's perfect for Dimitri Vandenberg.
Yeah, big darts from the Belgian. Had just missed 4 consecutive darts at double across 2 legs. The double 4 ends that drought. And now he's got the advantage back. Can he keep hold of it this time?
140.
Every single time these two have met, the 4 previous occasions, they've all been this year. And every single time it's gone to a last leg decider. Every single time Dimitri Vandenberg has won it.
81.
And every single time he's had to play really well to do it. Ratajski's averaged more than 100 on 3 of those 4 games.
A few differences. The
134.
distance being won. All of those first to 6. This final first to 8. The magnitude of the match being the key one. 3 of them were qualifiers for Euro Tour events.
101. 100.
Well, we have not seen an unbridgeable gap open up in
59.
this game. We saw Dimitri go 4-2 up and it was immediately closed to 4-all.
59.
If he opens up another 2-leg gap here, it poses more questions of Ratajski. And this leg, he's just been outgunned. And this is what Dimitri Vandenberg can do to you.
60.
Well, he's like double 4 in this final.
Game shot.
And he's gone there again. He might not have always gone that route, but deciding on it to put himself in a very handy position here of being 2 legs in front of his opponent and 2 legs away from winning this match.
59.
You know, it's been hit and miss on double 18, but 4 times that double 4 has come to his rescue. It's just next door. And what an enormous
100.
leg this is. Dimitri Vandenberg has got his nose in front. If he can find another break of throw here, he may not get a better chance to win a first senior title in PDC darts.
59.
I think what has been particularly impressive in this final has
140.
been the aggression from Vandenberg. It shows something in his game that perhaps we haven't seen.
The thing is, I've not seen it before, and I don't know if this was a plan or it's just happened naturally or what.
99.
I don't know what's brought it on. And this isn't his best. I mean, this is a mid-90s average. It's okay. It's kind of what he's been
55.
doing today. We know he's got more. I don't know if this is the best way to get the best out of himself, but he's finding a way to be in the lead here, and he might find a way to get over the line and win it.
140.
Maybe Dimitri Vandenberg is changing from the nice, polite young man of darts into the angry bad boy.
Just to highlight how nice Dimitri Vandenberg can be. Those of you that are watching the
58.
match against Simon Whitlock earlier on will be well aware of what happened there. There was problems for Simon Whitlock. Well, Simon Whitlock perceived problems with the lighting and asked for it to be changed.
96.
It was changed. When it was, Whitlock hit a 1-3-1 checkout, going out on 2 double tops, and Vandenberg offered him the handshake.
Hang about. Oh, my word.
81.
And that's a lazy... He's had a few of those last darts. Have just been lazy from Vandenberg.
Well, it's becoming must-hit time for Ratajski.
Game
And he
shot.
has hit, gets himself back within one.
Two holes of throw. That's all Dimitri needs. He is the recently installed Belgian #1, overtaken
91.
Kim Huybrechts in the world rankings for the first time. Recently into the top 32 in the world rankings. Krzysztof Ratajski goes into the top 32 as of this evening. He'll be the first Polish player ever to be in the top 32 in
136.
PDC darts.
Yeah, at the expense of Kim Huybrechts. In a little twist to the tail.
58.
Well, Vandenberg will be hoping to avoid another
59.
last leg decider. He's had 3 already today. But if it does get to that stage, it will mean that Ratajski has broken his throw. We have only ever had 2 last leg deciders since they
96.
changed the format to these Players' Championship finals. Start of this year. One was Harry Ward's win against Max Holt. The other was Dave Chisnell's over Glenn Durrant in the very second tournament of
97.
the season.
Well, if it goes to a last leg decider, Ratajski, of course, would have the throw, and
100.
he's been in this position before, whereas Dimitri will not have. You would heavily favour Ratajski, even though he's lost every game he's played to Dimitri in last leg deciders. But Dimitri will be busting a gut to make sure it doesn't go that far. But that dart there makes it much more likely that Krzysztof Ratajski wins this leg and levels the game.
Well, we are in the middle of a spell of exchanged breaks of throw.
46.
Ratajski poised for another here. Treble 19. Well, he's only found 7 there. That means he might only get a dart at the bullseye. It is just a dart at the bull,
Game
but he's
shot.
found it. And you could hear the Ratajski roar. Levels up at 6 apiece and effectively has control of this final, but it hasn't really been much of an advantage so far in this match.
Best of 3. The top player from Poland and the top player from Belgium. £10,000 in ranking
97.
money to the winner. But Dimitri Vandenberg, having been 4-2 and 6-4 up, he will feel he's thrown this away if he cannot get over the
180.
line. But it's another maximum. That is 7 for Dimitri Vandenberg. He'd only hit 12 all day coming into this final.
137.
This would put him on 20.
139.
Didn't like the lie of the second dart, was teeing up the potential of a 9-darter, but it has to be said, all afternoon, Dimitri Vandenberg, when his back has been against the wall, he has come out fighting.
180.
Double digits for the number of maximums in this final.
Despite the strong start to the leg from Vandenberg, that
134.
180 from Ratajski was timed to perfection. He's going to get a dart at least the bullseye. Instead, it's 2 at double 18. Double 9.
69.
And Vandenberg does get the chance. His fate's in his own hands.
But he's missed a big number and he's only going to get 1 dart at a double. He cannot miss another big number. Double 16. And
32.
Dimitri Vandenberg, how can you do that? You go 5 darts into the 9, you apply the pressure. Ratajski feels the pressure, misses, and then he doesn't do himself justice.
Splitting. He's splitting. 2 for double 8. The Pole had a plan.
2.
The plan has not been executed. Edgy stuff towards the back end of this final. Can Vandenberg take back the baton? It's double 4 again.
8.
And this time, double four is not there. And Dimitri van den Bergh, can he feel this opportunity slipping away from him?
Game shot.
Well, if it does slip away from Dimitri van den Bergh, he will look back at 4 missed starts to break at 6-all.
Again, his back is against the wall.
140.
And again, he comes out swinging.
It is really interesting, isn't it? I know we've mentioned it a few times in this final, this kind of aggression,
44.
this animation that we're seeing from Dimitri van den Bergh, but he's taking the fight to one of the best fighters in the sport.
134.
If it is a tactic, it's a very intriguing one.
Well, I think it's genuinely about his own mindset. But it's not the best we've seen from him today. It's certainly not his best. He's hit 7 180s in this game, and yet he's still only averaging mid-90s. Because there's been some scruffy stuff, and there've been some missed darts at double, and maybe it's a lack of composure.
Perhaps, but there's certainly been a lack of composure from his opponent in this leg.
44.
It does look like we are destined for a last leg shootout. And interestingly enough, Dimitri van den Bergh has already been in that position 3 times today, and he's also been in that position every time that he's taken on Krzysztof Ratajski. Everything I've just mentioned, he's won
96.
those last leg deciders.
Double 16.
60.
He will return to force a one-leg shootout for 10 grand. But more importantly for
78.
Dimitri, his first senior title.
Game shot.
It all comes down to a single leg of darts. Dimitri van den Bergh is as close as he has ever been to winning his first PDC title. Got plenty of practice on the development tour. He's tallied up more titles
99.
than anybody else. But now is today going to be the day where the boy becomes the man. Has to break the throw
100.
in the final leg. Otherwise, Ratajski notches an astonishing 5th PDC title in just 18 months.
140.
Here in Germany, the Belgian #1 and the Polish #1 going at it in the final. One's an established winner.
140.
One looking for his first senior win. Only a point between them.
$98.
The fact that Ratajski went over to the 18 segment shows that his head is on the game.
140.
This is now perfectly poised.
It will not go. And Dimitri van den Bergh has a chance. The chance he must
82.
have dreamed about for years. Playing PDC youth stuff. Getting his chance in senior tournaments. It's a chance he's not taken so far in his career. And he will not take it in this visit. Will he get another?
57.
Bullseye first. It's one dart for the match.
Game
To
shot.
deny Dimitri's dream, and Krzysztof Ratajski racks up yet another title at the expense of Dimitri van den Bergh, who will not come any closer to claiming his first PDC title without winning it. Krzysztof Ratajski picks up title number 5 in the space of just 18 short months. 2/3 of that time hasn't been a tour card holder. But he wins Players' Championship 21, and the Polish Eagle keeps that amazing record of never being beaten in a PDC final. Wonderful stuff from him. For Dimitri, the dream remains just that. He's the runner-up, but your winner, Krzysztof Ratajski, talking to Dan.
Krzysztof, that was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, the final was really hard. The score was 8-7. Dimitri was almost always one up before me, but I tried to I don't know this word. I won 8-7. It was really close.
You've just beaten Dimitri, who'd beaten you 4 times this year.
Yeah.
After beating Danny Noppert, who you'd never beaten,
Yeah.
you've won your 5th title, but it was a really difficult one today. You're probably not playing your best stuff either.
Yeah, it was really hard. I play in the semi-final with Noppert. You know, I never won with him before. He always beat me. I don't remember how many times. But today I play almost 104 average in semi-final. It was superb, and I won. In the final with Dimitri, I also lose with him many times, especially in European qualifiers. Yeah. He beat me 3 times. I always 6-5, 6-5, 6-5.
Were you thinking about that in the final?
Yes, I thought about it. Yeah. A little bit. It was 7-7, and I thought to myself, talked to myself, it's not possible to one more. I must win.
How important was this for you to win today after Blackpool, where you went there on your debut, you won a game, but you didn't play your best stuff?
Yes, but I think it was a good play from myself. I think I lose second match. I lose with Rob Cross. He won all tournament. He's really good in this moment. But here was very important because I try to stay in the first 16. Yeah, in the end of this season, I lose this 20,000 which I won on the end of this on the last season, and I must do everything to stay in the 16. And now I think I done it today.
Well, you have now won 5 titles in 18 months. You are in the top 32 in the world, the first Polish player ever to be in the top 32 in the world in PDC darts. How high can you go, Krzysztof? Because there aren't many players who've won as many titles as you over the last year and a half.
Yeah, my target on this year was first 16 in the Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and also was first 32 in main ranking. And I must tell to myself a new target, maybe first 16 in the main ranking.
You keep on picking up titles like this, then you'll get there. Congratulations. Krzysztof Ratajski, the Polish #1, a winner here at Players Championship 21 in Hildesheim. He'll be back tomorrow, another 128-man field fighting out for £10,000 in ranking money. He's just bagged it. He did the double the back end of last year. He's got a chance to do it again here. Well done, mate.